This is Indian Summer.
Yeah.
We call her Summer.
Okay, girl, you're gonna go center stage. Come on.
All right. So, first question that I normally ask people is, why did you choose this particular breed?
Ask him.
Okay.
My daughter has a dog.
Okay.
This is a replica of my daughter's dog.
Okay.
And what happened?
You mean your daughter bred her dog?
No.
No.
Okay.
She had the Terrier for about 6 years, but
Okay.
she came over here and stayed with us for about four months.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, is that she was working at the post office.
Okay.
So much of and Deborah was working at home.
Okay.
So we began to care for the dog, and the dog kind of like not severed her ties with my daughter, but she began to gravitate to us, and so it became almost like our dog.
Yeah.
And we fell in love with it,
Okay.
the dog.
Okay.
And so my daughter moved out into Downers Grove,
Okay.
took the dog, and so there was a void in the house.
Yeah. Okay.
And I said, I'm gonna find a dog just like her.
Yeah.
Not a different color or anything, but just like her. And that's the replica of my daughter's dog.
Oh, so you mean literally the same color pattern and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No problem.
And
no
I didn't
problem.
know anything about it.
Yeah.
No, she did. Became obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I almost got a dog in Tennessee, but one woman was ahead of me. And so
Okay.
after that, I was a little disenchanted, and I said, I'm gonna get a dog, whatever it is. However much I have to pay for the dog, I'm gonna get a
You're
dog,
gonna get a
that dog.
Yeah. Okay.
And finally, I came across a website, and they had the pictures of her and 3 of her siblings.
Okay. Okay.
And it was a match.
Yeah. Okay. So the next question I have is the temperament the same as the daughter's dog?
Very, very much, which except my daughter's dog was like 7 years old.
Okay.
She was a little more subdued,
Right.
because that dog would, like we have a cookout or what have you, she'll just calmly interface with people, whereby her, she'll jump up on most people when they come up in there. And so one of my neighbors said, when he was over there, he said, I thought you were going to train the dog.
Yeah.
I said, she is trained. I mean, what you want me to do?
Yeah.
He says, well, she continues to jump up and what have you. And I said, in terms of the housebreaking and all, I said, that's coming along quite well.
Yeah.
Because she's a smart dog.
Yeah, for sure.
And, but other than that, outside of the, housebreaking her, I don't have the jumping up. That's the most.
That's the.
And that's what my male friends come up and make some statements about her not being trained.
Okay, no problem. So that's what kind of, I guess, motivated you guys to say, let's find a train. Okay, no problem.
It was me.
It was okay. No problem. So outside of the jumping, what are some other things over the next 3 weeks that you guys would like to see a major difference in?
Her baby.
Okay.
You know, like when we're eating.
Okay. Yeah.
She,
So like table manners, I guess you would call
Mm-hmm.
it. Okay. Do you guys normally eat here or you eat at the?
We eat in the back there.
Okay.
She would like sit right there once you give her some.
Okay.
And stuff. And what they call surfing, like if she hear a bag, refrigerator,
Yep. Yeah.
she
That's the cue for.
Yeah, that's the cue, and she knows certain, we give her cheese, her little snack, give her, we'll say cheese, and she knows what that word is.
For sure. Yeah.
It's like when she was, when we first got her, she was like escaping.
Okay. Escape, which mean?
Run away,
Okay.
But
you open the back door.
You open the back door, she would dash out.
You mean she was scared of it?
No, she would run outside.
So
we would try to run and get her.
Okay.
She would get out the fence.
And right. And that typical run was to go a couple doors down, a couple houses down, and round and around. And that's how we went on the chase with her.
Okay. So hold on, let me make sure. You say you were opening a bag of treats?
No, back. Like I say, I'll go to the back door. The back
Oh,
door.
okay, got you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the superintendent of police is across the street, and him and I were talking one day, and she backed out of her harness, and we went on a chase with her that day. That's early on when we first got her.
Okay.
She was doing those type of things. And she was kind of like.
She just did it yesterday.
I was going to ask, does she still do it?
Well, yesterday it was really, I went out, I just cracked it so didn't open it real wide, but she hadn't been doing it. Like once we would go to the door and open it, she wasn't going out. Then yesterday, she got out, but she didn't go anywhere. She went to the front gate and just she just stood there.
And you could bring her back in.
Yeah.
It wasn't like.
Yeah, she's just like, well, come on, Summer. I had to leave, so
she came right back. Okay, that's
she
good.
came right back.
So now the question is, okay, that's good, but now the question is, do you think she will do that regularly? Meaning, if she saw something that got her attention, do you think you will be able to do that?
She will try.
Can she squeeze out of here?
Huh?
She has her head between
She can. She can.
Oh, okay.
You want?
Yeah. She not.
See, early on, she would have dashed out of that. She would.
Okay.
See, yeah. Come on.
And she's responding. She's responding more to your command when you say, "Come on," which that has improved over some time.
That's good.
Yeah. So she's gotten better. You know,
Okay.
She's friendly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
She loves people.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
She's very social.
Jokingly, I tell folks is that you all can come by here and just take her away.
Yeah.
Because she's that much involved with people.
Okay.
And when she see people, that tail start wagging and she gets real excited.
That's good. That's good.
But you scratching.
Okay. So I mean, for the most part, it sounds like to me she just needs rules, boundaries, and limitations.
Yeah.
Right. Like so, even examples like this, right?
Mm-hmm. She's smart. She can roll over in her bag.
Okay.
When I say it's time to go to bed, she goes right up in that crate.
Okay.
I've been trying to do a number of things with the roll over in the back. She sits. That's not a problem.
Okay.
And something else.
But the big thing, is to me, is the boundaries. You know, she
Okay.
does.
And here's the thing: I can say, "I'm going to get that broom."
Okay.
And she go right back up.
Yeah.
But if I say it,
she won't.
But what happened one day, I was
and I'm here with her.
and she went under the sofa.
Okay.
And I went and got the broom. And ever since then, when I get chased with that broom, if I say get that broom, she's off.
Yeah.
She stopped what she's doing.
Okay.
And I was joking with some friend of mine, and I just told him I messed my dog up because every time I say broom, I'm gonna get that broom. She goes back to that crate.
She goes to the crate. Well, it's funny. It's not necessarily that you messed her up. Ironically, what you've done, that phrase to her has become like a corrective phrase. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
What we have to do is just switch her association with that phrase. But again, saying I'm gonna get that broom is very similar to saying no, or whatever the corrective term is.
Right.
It's
but it's
pretty much
ironic.
the same thing.
If I say it, she don't.
There's no value to it.
There's no value. There's no value to it. If I'm sweeping, she try to grab the broom. If I'm mopping, she grabs. She grabs. She grabs them out. And pretty much, I work from home, so she's with me
most of the time.
She's with me.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Just like last night, it was really weird because normally at night she doesn't come upstairs.
Okay.
But last night, for some reason, I was upstairs and I was reading, and she came upstairs, and I woke up this morning and she was still there.
Okay.
Yeah. And she you know, I was like, what is this?
Mm-hmm. Normally on her own, she wouldn't come upstairs?
No, she does.
She does come upstairs on her own, but last night she came upstairs. You know, like if I go upstairs at night, and normally she's in her in her crate.
In a crate.
Like we put her down like 9:30, 10. Like weekend, like maybe a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason last night I went upstairs and she came upstairs. I was reading, and next thing I know she had jumped on the bed.
Okay.
You know, and I woke up this morning
And she was still there.
She was still there.
Yeah, she loves coming upstairs.
Okay.
And hopping in the bed because she's.
I don't know where that just came out of nowhere.
Okay. The fact that she hopped in the bed, or
yeah. Well, the fact is that she started coming up, wanting to get,
But
jump.
she does it every morning.
She does it every morning.
oh, so you're saying she did it last night, and normally she does it in the morning. She comes upstairs. Oh, okay.
But last night she spent the night.
She spent the night. She had never done that before.
That was the first time.
And see, my daughter's dog, interesting with her, is that we would leave her down here, but sometime between 2 o'clock and 3, she would come back upstairs.
Okay.
So we just pull a little bed upstairs because she was routinely going to come up there.
Yeah.
And at 6:30 in the morning, she'll start scratching on the beds, and that's to take her out.
Yeah.
My daughter's dog was incredibly smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, Chloe, she was never in, never. The only time she went in the crate was when we went away.
Okay.
When my friends came over to, let her out and stuff. But this one, I'm afraid to leave her out.
To leave her out, okay, because you're afraid she would be destructive.
Yeah, but
okay.
with age, Chloe, my daughter's dog,
She destroyed 2 of my plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't. Well,
yeah, for a while she wasn't even messing with it.
Yeah.
First she was really, really bad with the plants, and then all of a sudden she stopped.
Okay.
And then just the other day, I'm like, stuff was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew that she wasn't supposed to mess with it. So when I said, no, no, and she went in her crate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So that's part of the reason why I asked why you get the specific breeds, because those behaviors. I put it to you like this: these dogs were actually bred to dig. That's a part of their genetic code.
Yeah.
Because they were bred to go in holes,
because they were hunting foxes. I read.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fox, mice, raccoon. I mean, not mice, rats, raccoons. Any type of vermin like that that burrow underground. That's why they're made the way they're made.
Right.
With that longer body, shorter to the ground, so they can go in holes, dig, and So that is a part of her genetic code.
Yeah.
So things like that.
It's gonna happen.
Well, yes, if you don't put any rules, boundaries, and limitations.
Right.
So, for an example, when she just jumped up in the window, right? Something as simple as that. What that behavior normally leads to is dogs looking for something to get stimulated by, and then the excessive barking starts. They see a cat, they see whatever.
That's her.
Yeah, she was looking for it. I could see it. Like she was looking, where's the cat? Where's the squirrel? Like she was looking for it, right?
Yeah, right. And that's how she does.
Yeah.
I have my office upstairs, so she'll go up there, and I have a sofa up there, and it's a window.
Okay.
But only thing she it's the side of the house.
Okay, so she can't really see anything.
She really, but that's her little spot, and she just will fall asleep or whatever. But like just a few minutes ago, my neighbor next door, I guess it was a stray cat. I didn't even see.
A little black and white cat?
Look, it was, I think, I was like.
Yeah, I saw a cat come in the yard when I was
Yeah. And she saw that cat. I didn't even see it. Next thing I know, I got her leash. She went up on Maryland's, she went up on her gate. Her gate is locked, so I couldn't even get it. I said, come on, Summer. So she came on.
Yeah.
Just came on, she came on back out. I said, that's a no-no.
Yeah.
And she did it once before, but Marilyn was out there playing basketball, and she was in there. So she just ran around her yard, and she's like, oh, she fine. Marilyn was playing basketball. She's trying to play ball with her and stuff. But, but she's not afraid. It's a lot of people with dogs around here. So they're on leashes. Everybody got pedigree dogs around here. Everybody got dogs. I can see it has totally changed since from when we first moved.
Yeah.
You know,
I was just
built
telling
this
my
house.
wife this is a nice little.
Yeah, you know when
Right.
when this area when we first moved, this house was built. You know, it was like, you know, like then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
we got Airbnbs on the block.
Yeah.
You know, the white folks is here.
Oh yeah.
You know, you can tell community changing by the dogs.
Yeah.
By the dogs.
Yeah.
The kind of dogs you can, yeah. So it's everywhere, you know, but it was not ever my intention of
Right.
getting a puppy.
I understand.
You know, but she here now, so we love
Yeah.
her, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody love her, you know, so.
See, I had to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know what.
Yeah. Well, that's, it's a normal thing for a dog to be more responsive to one person because dogs are pack-oriented animals, so they're always going to have that hierarchy. And truth be told, typically the men are going to be higher, on that total pole. That's just a natural, you know.
So, because my sister said, she is a female and he's a male, so.
Yeah.
Because I went to South Africa for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And so we were WhatsApping it and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, Summer. She wouldn't even look at me.
Yeah.
And then when I got home, she just
Summer.
just had to melt, and I walked in the door.
Yeah.
And because I said, what, you didn't bring her with you? He's like, no, because I had coming in and out of over here. And she was like, when I walked through, she just went, went crazy,
Yeah.
And so, but she wouldn't, but she knows my voice.
Yeah.
And everything. So, but so she's everybody's puppy.
Yeah.
I got her the day after Trump got elected, so everybody was calling me, is she here yet? We need her. We need her. We need her. She's our emotional support.
No problem.
See?
Yeah.
How you know she like dogs? She must.
Okay.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like I said, over the next 3 weeks, the biggest goal for me, I'll put it to you like this. I tell people all the time, is as funny as, or as, I guess, contradictive as it sounds, it's not really my job to train your dog, right? And what I mean by that is, even though I am going to train your dog, so to speak.
But we have to.
It's nothing I can do in 3 weeks that's going to outweigh what you do with her for the rest of her life, right? So even the things that I do with her over the 3 weeks, if you guys don't change your mindset around how you interact with her, she's going to go right back to the same habits that she was doing before the training. So, a huge part of what we do is, I'm sure they told you the videos that we send. Oh, that's something I have to help you guys do, is get on the app.
I did. I think I got it.
You got on it? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
what's the name of it? Let me.
Signal.
Signal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did.
Yeah. So, I send.
Yeah, they sent me a link.
A link to join it.
To join, and I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
So, that's where I'll be sending the videos. The instructive videos on, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, why I'm doing it. So that way you guys can duplicate it when she comes back. Because that's the most important thing, is maintaining what I implement. So, really my goal is to put a solid enough foundation to make it easier for when she comes back for you guys to finish what we started. So, so that's the most important thing. I could definitely see she's a smart girl, which always makes it easier, believe it or not. I deal with a lot of dumb dogs. That is a real thing. Just like we have some humans that just don't have it all. You have some dogs that just don't have it all. So, it definitely makes it easier that she's a smart girl. She catches on quick.
She is.
She's confident. Believe it or not, I get a lot of dogs that are very, fearful. So before I can teach them something, I have to gain their trust first.
Right.
So being that she's so friendly, we should be able to get in and go right to work.
Right.
So but okay, so anything else specific, we got the jumping, anything else specific, if you had to say 2 or 3 things that you would like to see the biggest change?
It's on her.
Okay.
She's not.
Because he thinks she's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Other than the jumping. And
Okay.
that's because
Yeah.
some of my
Yeah, I
friends-
just, the jumping is real big.
The recall, I know we talked about the recall. Being
Yeah,
able to call it back.
and her, when, like, say if somebody's come over here and they're eating,
Mhm.
she's
Oh, the table manners. She did
the
say
table,
that.
the table
Gotcha.
manners.
Okay.
Like this looking out, the jumping out, looking out the window. This, like, I don't even her start, because she didn't get on the furniture at all. But now it's like,
Okay. So is that something now? I know you're okay with it.
but everybody, so if I have
Does it-
company,
right.
I don't want her,
Jumping on the okay. Got Yeah.
I mean, that, that part.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
He don't care.
Yeah.
But I do,
I understand.
And then my girl was like, hey, this is her house.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, they don't have to come over.
I love her because she's somewhat hyper and animated.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a dull moment in here with her.
Yeah.
Because she's so active.
Yeah.
And I love that about her.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't want to kill a spirit, so to speak.
Yeah,
But she
right.
still has to understand that there's
Right.
rules, boundaries, and limitations that she has to follow. So
Yeah.
even something as simple as jumping on the couch, there's nothing wrong with her being on the couch. But what we don't want her to think that she has the
Control.
autonomy
Right.
to do it whenever she wants.
Right.
She has to be invited on the couch.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's all a part of the rules.
My girl's like, don't ever let her get on your furniture because she's gonna take over.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like gonna take over.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it could definitely. I'm not saying it will, but I've seen situations to where,
They want-
especially as they get older,
they don't want you to even sit on it.
where they could literally turn into a possessive thing, to where if somebody that they don't really know or it could even be one of you guys, to where if you're in her spot, she'll start growling or something like. It could turn into that. I'm not saying it will, but we don't want it to.
Yep.
So we have to be proactive about claiming our space,
Yeah.
so she doesn't get to that point where she starts acting like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
This right here.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
where did this come from?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But see,
All
it's
right.
okay with him.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. The most important thing, she has to get a consistent message, right? So whatever that message is, it has to be consistent, right? So it can't be two different languages coming from you two, right?
Right.
She'll say something I won't.
Yeah.
I'll just grab it just like I did now.
Okay. Yeah. So that's something, that I want you guys to kind of figure out. So that way I can, based off what you guys truly want, I can implement that. Because again, I can implement something based off what I see, right?
But it's the follow through.
It's the follow through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Nobody,
Yeah.
girl.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool beans. So I'll tell you what we can do. We can load her stuff up,
Okay.
and then I'll come back and get her.
Okay.
And then we can get this party started. I got a couple of other pickups and drop-offs.
Okay.
So once we finish all of that, I'll send you guys a video, let you know we made it in safe and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So I need to give you her food.
Food, leash, collar. No harness though. You have a regular, so just a regular collar.
Okay.
So you have food, leash, collar. She's not on any medication.
Just her chewable.
Oh, you
heart
did tell me
blood.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just got
Okay.
that.
So yeah, I'll take that. And
And she gets that on June the 9th. I got a little piece of paper in there.
okay. Okay.
June
Yeah.
the 9th.
So yeah, honestly, that's all I really need.
Okay,
For her.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's all I really need. Yeah.
Okay. See that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like I said,